So in the next section here, we're going to talk about frequency adverbs. Let's look at the example here. Ayako frequently talks on the phone. So these frequency adverbs tell us how often or how frequently something happens. The ones in green here that are appearing are positive. That means these things do happen with some frequency. Always, almost always, usually, often, frequently, generally, sometimes, or occasionally. These are between maybe 35% of the time up to 100% of the time, always being 100% of the time. The negative ones, seldom, rarely, hardly ever, almost never, and not ever or never, imply that something is not a common occurrence. So, Hannah always eats lunch at school. Think about what that means. How often does Hannah eat lunch at school? Every day that she's at school, she eats lunch at school. So we have a subject plus a frequency adverb first, followed by the simple present verb, except with be. With be, it comes after. Hannah is always happy. Notice that with the be verb, always appears after the verb. Subject plus be plus the frequency adverb. The question formation, does he usually walk to school? We put our helping verb, do, or in this case does, before the subject, but just the same, the frequency adverb appears before the main verb. So the subject is followed by the frequency adverb. And in the negative, Alex usually doesn't eat meat, or Alex doesn't always eat meat. You could say Alex doesn't usually eat meat. In this case, there's some flexibility. It says here that it's the frequency adverb followed by the negative verb, but that's not completely true. There are many cases where you can put the auxiliary or the helping verb doesn't followed by the frequency adverb, and especially with always and ever. So you have a negative helping verb or a negative be verb plus always. It's possible with some of the other frequency adverbs as well. Doesn't usually, doesn't often. Now, this is correct. Marcy never drinks milk. But in English, it is not possible to do a double negative to mean something negative, like it is in some other languages. So we can't say Marcy doesn't never drink milk. We could say, however, Marcy doesn't ever drink milk. We don't do a double negative in English. It's important to remember that because it is used in some other languages. So again, the negative adverbs don't go with negative verbs. Do you ever ride horses? Yes, I sometimes ride horses. This could also be, yes, sometimes I ride horses. So ever means at any time. Do you ever go to the movies? Do you ever eat fish? Whatever it may be. It's asking, does this happen in your life? Do you ride horses? No, I don't ever ride horses. Or, no, I never ride horses. Ever can appear with not. Not ever has the same meaning as never. But you can't say, I ever ride horses. I ever do something. No. I do not ever or I never do something. Ever needs to have that negative word, not, to make it work. So ever is not used in a positive statement or an affirmative statement. So Jacob plays his guitar. Jacob often plays his guitar. Not Jacob plays often. Jacob often plays his guitar. The baby is happy, and we want to put usually in there. Remember, with the be verb, what are we going to do? The baby is usually happy. Katie is at her violin lesson on Thursday. Again, with the be verb. Katie is always at her violin lesson on Thursday. Now, singular and plural as it pertains to the simple present. She eats and she eats. They eat together. When this verb had the subject she, we saw that it had the S at the end. But when it becomes the two of them together and it's they, we eliminate that S. Remember that we only add S to simple present verbs for the subjects he, she, or it. Or in other words, third person singular. So singular is one dog. Plural would be two dogs, three dogs, many dogs, all the dogs. If a subject is plural, or if the subject takes S, then the verb will not take S in the simple present. So dogs bark, a dog barks. You can only use an S in one place in this case. If it is a singular subject, the verb takes S. If it is a plural subject, the verb does not take S. So a cat plays with the ball. It plays in the basement. Zoe plays with her toys. She plays happily. Tyler plays with his toy trucks. He plays every single day. A singular subject, third person singular, that is he, she, or it, because Zoe is a she, Tyler is a he, a cat is a he or a she or an it. So it's a singular verb, and the singular verb in the simple present will take the S. Justin has 2 children. What kind of a word is has? A noun or a verb? It is a verb. Is it a singular or a plural verb? So let's look back to the subject. What is the subject here? The subject was Justin. Justin is singular, just one guy. So the verb as well must be singular. Peaches, noun or verb? So peaches is an example of a fruit, or they are an example of fruit. And there are multiple, so they are singular or plural. Peaches. They are plural. It's a plural noun, and as a result, the verb will be plural as well. Are, not is. Peaches are. So we can see that our verb following peaches, are, is a plural verb because it had a plural subject. My mom teaches at the university. Noun or verb? We already have a subject before that, my mom, so we can figure out that teaches is the action that she does, it's the verb. Is it a singular or a plural verb? Well, who is doing that action? Who is teaching? My mom. And my mom is singular, so the verb is singular.